I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news necessity is moderating China's wolf warrior diplomacy, even though the original wolf warrior is back as their Chinese foreign minister. Late last week, China announced that they will drop its tariffs on Australian barley imports that have been in place for 3 years. In response, Australia said it will suspend its case at the WTO. It was widely expected that China would lose that case, though. China has already lifted its block on importing Australian coal, but don't forget China still has a blockade on Australian wine imports. Staying in Australia, their competition regulator has knocked back ANZ's $4.9 billion takeover of Suncorp Bank. It is not a complete surprise, with others working to merge Suncorp Bank with Bendigo Bank. The ACCC is also promoting that solution. ANZ said it isn't giving up and will appeal the ACCC ruling. Separately, the RBA released its monetary policy review and trimmed its 2023 growth expectation from 1.2% at its last MPR to 0.9% now, as inflation and interest rates bite. A year ago, the RBA expected the Australian economy to grow 2%, so the change since then has all been quite negative. And Singapore said its retail sales are struggling, down 0.8% in June from May and only up 1.1% from a year ago. The key drag was car sales, but the non-car sales activity isn't that flash either. In the US on Saturday, the rise of their non-farm payrolls came in less than the 200,000 expected, up only 189,000 in July from June in seasonally adjusted terms. This was very similar to the June rise of 185,000. But it was far less than this 568,000 surge they had in July 2022. Overall, their headline jobless rate held at 3.5%, their participation rate held at 62.6%, and average hourly earnings, however, rose 4.4% in July from a year ago, exceeding their CPI inflation rate of 3% in the same period. Across the Atlantic, German factory orders came in with an encouraging result for June. They were expected to fall 2% from May, but in fact they rose an impressive 7%, building on the very good 6.2% rise in the prior month. If they keep this up, it can really move the German economy's dial. The US Treasury 10-year yield will start today at 4.04% and a 16 basis point pullback from Friday, triggered by the US jobs report. The price of gold will start today at $1,943 an ounce and up $2 from Saturday. And oil prices are still just under $82.50 a barrel in the US, while international Brent price is just under $86 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today slightly softer at just on 60.9 US cents. A week ago it was 61.5 US cents, so a half a cent down since then. Against the Aussie, with little change at 92.9 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're still at 55.4 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index is basically held at 69.4. Get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.